So Mr. San Miguel is asking for a change of conservatorship on a temporary basis. If I don't grant that, then Ms. Cross is agreeing to his child support being reduced to zero. Is that what you're telling me, Ms. Cavassa?
My understanding is that if the child is ordered to remain with Miss Caris, that she's in agreement to set child support at zero. Your Honor, and I'm sorry, they do also agree that there will be no non-disclosure finding needed. And I believe that's the agreement.
Ms. Gross, is that your understanding that the only issues that have been agreed to today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I know part of the delay on this case was there was an issue of, while not pled for a determination of arrears, where I know that that's not pled for, but there has been discussion and that delayed having the hearing. What about that issue, Ms. Gross and Ms. Cavazza?
I believe we're in agreement to reserve that issue for later.
Yes.
Okay. Is there an agreement to have a trial amendment that is going to be heard, or is it just not being addressed at all today?
I don't think it's going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I thought we had agreed that we weren't going to address it at all today.
That was
Okay.
my understanding, that that was going to be reserved for some later date.
Okay. Okay. And that's fine with me. I just want to make sure that all parties are aware it's not been pled for anywhere. So that will mean if it's going to be addressed at a final hearing, someone will need to amend their pleadings for that. Okay, Mr. San Miguel and Ms. Cross, let me get the two of you sworn in. So if you'd each raise your right hand, and Ms. Cross, since I can't see you, you're gonna have to let me.
I can turn my camera on.
Okay, that'll be great.
Right.
There you go. Do you each swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Ms. Cavassa, I know you filed the petition. However, since the main issue that has to be resolved first is conservatorship, I'm going to ask that Ms. Gross present her case first, then you can present yours and Ms. Cross can go third.
Thank you, Judge.
You may proceed, Ms. Gross.
Thank you. I would like to call Mr. Baltazar San Miguel.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Now, Baltazar, you and Emily have one child together. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's Baltazar Wyatt San Miguel. Is that right?
Correct.
And how old is he right now?
4 years old.
And does he go by Wyatt?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, you were aware that there was a suit for modification filed by the Attorney General's office back in April of 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then in June of 2025, you filed your counter petition to modify, and today you're seeking a change of conservatorship. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long has Wyatt been in your possession?
6 months. He's been with me since November 25th of 2024.
Okay, great. And how did he come to be in your possession?
His mother, Emily Caris, dropped him off on the 25th at his grandparents, and then she left. And then that's when Emily Caris's grandma texted me saying that he was there and I could go pick him up.
Okay. And did they say why you would be able to pick him up?
Just because they didn't say why, just she wasn't there to take care of him, and I'm the parent that's willing to take care of my son. This is my responsibility.
Okay. And you also filed a supporting affidavit outlining the possession and access and how that came to be. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a true and accurate representation of your testimony and how Wyatt came to be in your possession?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did Emily know that Wyatt was in your possession beginning in November 22nd, 2024?
Yes, I would assume so because she texted me on Thanksgiving to tell Wyatt happy Thanksgiving for her.
Okay. And then at any time, did she say, I'm coming to pick up my son?
No, she just said to take him to his grandma's because she's moving back with her grandma because she didn't want, or she was with her boyfriend, I guess she was with, and then she didn't want her boyfriend around Wyatt anymore. So she was moving back to her grandma's house on Sunday
Okay.
of November 28th.
Okay. And who is Emily's boyfriend?
Josh De Los Santos.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about your child being around Josh De Los Santos?
Yes, ma'am, I do. He just got arrested for, I guess, family violence for choking Emily Caris, and he has a problem with drugs and stuff like that.
Okay. And who was Emily, if you know, in November of 2024? Where was Emily living?
So first, I think she was living with her grandma, and then she moved out, and then she gave me a fake address of where they were assumed living because I had a welfare check done with Pearsall police, and they went to that house, and there was just an older man that lived there. And then I talked to my son. She let me talk to my son, and I asked her if they were at the address he sent me, and she said yes again after. And then that's when I asked for the second welfare check.
Okay, so Emily gave you an address
Correct.
that her and her boyfriend were moving to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and was that where they moved to?
No.
Okay, and so then you did a welfare check, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I'm sorry, what were they there when the welfare check occurred?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then did you ask for a different address?
Well, because I asked her, I was like, "Are you at that address you sent me?" And she said yes. That's after the first welfare check. So, because I was talking to my son a later time, and I wanted to confirm if that was the address that they were living at.
Okay, and so you were already in possession of Wyatt, is that right?
No, not at that time, because that's when she just took White out of daycare, told them that they were moving to Houston or Dallas or something, and then when that Thanksgiving week is when I got him. That happened before then because her phone wasn't working unless it was with Wi-Fi.
Okay,
So I wasn't really able to be in contact with her and
okay.
to
Now
see where my
prior,
son actually was.
okay, now prior to that, whenever this order was entered back in 2022, were you exercising regular possession and access to Wyatt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have been very consistent in Wyatt's life, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and also during this period of time between November, I believe you stated it was November 23rd, November 25th, 2024, up until current. How many times has Emily called you to see Wyatt?
It wasn't really her. It was more mainly of the grandparents and her dad. So I would take him there every Tuesday and Thursday, and then if she was there, she was. If not, she wasn't there. And her dad mentioned, well, she knows that Wyatt's here, so I don't know why she's not.
Okay. And so is the answer Emily has never reached out to you directly to see Wyatt?
She has a handful of times.
Okay. Has she been able to see Wyatt to your knowledge?
Yes.
Has she ever attempted to take Wyatt back with her?
No, ma'am.
And so, okay. And so then you drop Wyatt off over at Emily's grandmother's house. Is that right?
I used to drop him off after daycare, and then since I'm working, they just go pick him up a little bit so they can spend a little more time with him.
Okay, but Wyatt always, since November of 2024, has always come back into your possession. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so you are not withholding Wyatt from Emily, correct?
No, ma'am.
And so you voluntarily have Wyatt. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and do you believe that it's in your son's best interest for Wyatt to remain living with you?
Of course, his
And
teachers even noticed that since he's been with me, he's been outstanding in school, more focused, and I don't have a problem with Wyatt, my son, being with me full time.
okay. And would you be agreeable to having Emily have possession and access with Wyatt over at her grandmother's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have any concerns if Emily was to have Wyatt without any type of supervision?
Yes, ma'am. The only issue I would have is her leaving because she used to take my son around town with no car seat.
Okay, and so would you be asking this court that if she was to travel with Wyatt, that she have the appropriate car seat for him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you know where she is currently residing?
Back at her grandma's house.
Okay, and what's that address?
613 Bluebonnet, I think.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
And so do you know if her boyfriend is also residing there?
Nope.
No, he's not.
Okay, are you aware that in a jail record that he states that that is what his address is?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am, he does
Ms.
to get
Cars,
all of
hold
his
on.
court papers.
Hold on, Ms. Cars. You'll get a chance, Ms. Cars, okay? I promise. Go ahead, Ms. Cars.
thank you. And so what concerns do you have if Joshua is residing at that residence with the grandparents and Emily?
Well, her grandma and her dad don't like him because of the things that he has done. They don't want him there. And so he got arrested on the 11th, I believe, of Tuesday. And she just went to the daycare to get Wyatt, but he wasn't there because he was out at the HEB camp for the day in Lakey. So that just brings my mind to worries because he strangled her, and if my son was there, what would happen to him too?
Okay. And are you asking this court to change conservatorship on a temporary basis at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it because she voluntarily left Wyatt with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it also because you believe that it would be in Wyatt's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you believe that if Wyatt were to remain with mom, if mom was remained the conservator with the exclusive right to determine primary residence, that would hinder Wyatt's physical, emotional, or mental well-being?
Oh, yes, ma'am, it would.
Okay, and so are you asking that you be appointed the managing conservator?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking that you have the exclusive right on a temporary basis to designate the primary residence of Wyatt within Kerr County, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking for the exclusive right to consent to medical and dental and surgical procedures
Yes, ma'am.
and any type of psychological treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, has Emily been involved to your knowledge in any appointments, medical, dental, or otherwise, for Wyatt in the last 6 to 7 months?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And are you asking for Emily to pay you child support beginning July 1st?
Yes, ma'am. I would like that to happen.
Okay. Do you know if Emily is currently carrying Wyatt on government insurance or if she has private insurance?
Last of my knowledge, I had to take him to the doctor, and the doctor said that he wasn't covered on Medicaid, I believe. And
Okay.
there was an outstanding balance, and they told me if I would go pay it, they would give me a discount. I ended up paying $266.
Okay. And
And
so,
then
go ahead.
so I paid that, and so to get him in there because he needed a checkup. He hasn't gotten his 4-year-old checkup. He hasn't, and he needed his shots.
Okay.
So
And were
he was
you able,
behind on that.
okay. And were you able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so has Emily, and to your knowledge, in the last 7 months since November, has Emily shown any interest in the medical or dental treatment for Wyatt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what about any daycare or schooling? Who has
Yeah,
been responsible for that?
ever since I got my son, I've been paying It was 243 for a while until the CCS program was not able to get in hold of Emily Caris, and the head lady at Zion Luther Daycare Center. She just told me to apply for CCS program, so I did, and it went to 325 a month.
Okay.
And
And
it
you,
and
go
it
ahead.
she explained to me it was most likely like Emily Caris was abandoning my son.
Okay. And so you though have been paying the $300+ is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It was 243 for a couple months, and then I think like 3 months ago it went to 325 a
And
month.
that was because it was based off of your income now, is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And so do you know if Emily has made any attempts to make any of those direct payments?
No, ma'am. She hasn't.
Okay. And so you've continued to pay that all on your own, is that right?
Correct.
And do you believe that it's in your son's best interest to continue going to that Zion church? Is it a daycare?
It's a daycare.
Okay. And you believe that that's in his best interest?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And is that where he would be going in August as well?
No, ma'am. He'll be going to Tally
Okay.
Elementary School, kindergarten.
And would that be based off of your residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so are you asking for the exclusive right to be able to enroll Wyatt in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you were perfectly fine if Emily would have a first, third, and fifth weekends if it was supervised by the grandparents
Yes, ma'am. That'll be fine.
and if Mr. De Los Santos was not present. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you believe that all of this is in the best interest of your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Cavassa, do you have any questions for Mr. San Miguel? You're muted, Ms. Cavassa.
I'm sorry about that. Yes, Your Honor, I do.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. San Miguel, what is where do you work?
At Fox Tank.
Okay. And how do you get paid there? Is it
We get paid weekly.
okay? So how much do you get paid per hour?
$23 an hour.
And how many hours do you work per week?
We just got bumped up to 55 hours.
55 hours regular? Well, is that 15
40
hours of overtime?
Yeah, 15 hours overtime.
Okay. And okay, so your regular base pay is $23 per hour. What is your overtime pay per hour?
Time and a half. So 30 something, 32, I think.
Okay. And I apologize, you may have already answered this question, but what insurance, do you have insurance available through your employer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have it available for your child?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be able to if I need to.
Okay, and what is the cost for Wyatt for health insurance?
If I put them on, it'll be like, I think $200 a week.
200 per week?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay, and that's just for health insurance?
Health insurance and dental.
Okay, so dental, is that an addition? Well, is the health insurance 200 with no cost for dental, or do you know what the
It's all
dental?
together.
Okay. And that's about, you said 200 per week for your child.
Mm.
Okay. Do you have any additional children?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, and approximately how many hours will you be working?
24 to 30 hours a week.
Okay. Is there an opportunity for you to work full-time after the initial probationary period?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you know how long that probationary period would last?
90 days.
Okay. And so you stated that you were in training. So have you already received and accepted the offer letter?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay. And then did they require any type of background check or drug screening of any type from you?
Yes, ma'am, they have already did that. I passed everything.
Okay, great. Now, um, are you still with Joshua de los Santos?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay, are you aware that he is using your address as of June 9th?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. And so, he has been abusive to you in the past, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, he has.
Okay, and he also uses drugs, is that correct?
He uses marijuana. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, just in November, I believe it was, he got picked up for burglary of a vehicle. Do you recall that?
Yes, so that was a warrant he had before I was with him, and he was a failure to appear at court because his mother did not take him, and I did not know that he had that warrant against him until he did get arrested.
Okay. Are you aware that he has, two possession charges out of Bear County?
Yes, ma'am. Those were both warrants that he has had, and he did time served.
Okay. So it shows that they're still pending. Are you aware of that?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay. And then he was booked on June 11th for assault, family violence, impeding
Yes.
breath. And that
Yes.
was against you?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay. Was he abusive towards you outside of this incident?
Every now and then, yes, ma'am, he was.
And were the two of you living together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long have the two of you lived together?
Almost a year.
Okay. And approximately how many times did he assault you while you guys were living together?
I would say about 4 times.
Okay. And was your son present during those periods?
No, ma'am, he wasn't. He was never around.
Okay. And so, would you agree with me that it would be in the best interest of Wyatt while you're getting back on your feet, for Wyatt to live with his dad for a while?
That's what we agreed on, until I got back on my feet, and then Wyatt would come back to me. And then all of this is happening, so this is all news to me.
Okay. And then Joshua just recently assaulted you, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
About 2 weeks ago?
Yes, when I told him that I am done with him, because I recently did find out I was pregnant. I'm 2.5 months, and he was getting angry because I was telling him to leave because he was texting his ex-girlfriend, come pick me up. And so I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this back and forth stuff anymore with you. And then he hit me. I told him to get his stuff, get out of my car, locked my car, was running to the front door of my grandmother's house at 613 Bluebonnet. And then my dad came out and witnessed him choking me, and then my dad proceeded to call the police.
Okay. Are you still carrying your baby? I know that's a sensitive question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is Mr. De Los Santos the father?
Yes.
Okay. And so do you believe that he's going to continue to be in your life at least for the time being while you're pregnant with his child?
Right now I have a restraining and protective order against him.
Okay.
So he can't come within 300 yards of my residence, my son's daycare, and my job. I made sure my son's protected, I'm protected, my family's protected.
Okay. And so then, if this court just in the family law setting were to place an injunction against him from being around your son, you would agree with that. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. He was never around him for a couple months now, ever since everything's been going on
Baltazar San Miguel said it was in Wyatt's best interest for him not to be around. So I agreed to that, and he hasn't been around my son since.
Okay. And you stated that Joshua smoked marijuana. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the only thing he did?
As I known, yes, ma'am. That's the only
Okay.
thing I'm known that he has done.
Okay. Have you done that with him in the last year?
Well, yes and no. I have done it before. I was with him. I would do pins whenever I wasn't around my son.
Okay. And then when was the last time that you smoked marijuana?
Going on 4.5 months ago.
Okay. And so you haven't done it while you were pregnant at all, is that
No,
right?
ma'am.
Okay. And whenever that happened and y'all were living together, were you keeping the drugs in the house?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Where were you guys keeping them?
It wouldn't be weed. It would be disposable pins that you can get at the vape shops.
Okay. And would you be agreeable if the court had you have supervised possession that it happened at your grandma's house because you're living there? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, great. And so you would be able to see Wyatt if those visits happened over there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then if you were to drive with Wyatt, you would have the appropriate car seat for him?
Yes, I have it in my car.
Okay. And is it an age and weight appropriate seat for Wyatt?
Yes, ma'am. It's a booster seat.
A booster seat? Is it a
Yes,
5-point or just like an over the seatbelt one?
It's one that has a back strap that you could put the seatbelt through because it's the weight limit is 40 pounds to I think it's 60 or 70, and he meets the height and weight requirements for it.
Okay. Now, you heard Balthazar talk about him paying the daycare tuition at Zion. Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am. So whenever Wyatt resigned to his house, I don't know his address. But whenever Wyatt resigned over there, I was still paying the daycare until about December. And that's when I told him, if you're going to continue keeping Wyatt, then you have to start paying the daycare because I was paying almost $300 and I couldn't afford that on top of my car bill if Wyatt wasn't with me full time. So he took on the role and started paying the daycare.
Okay. And so then since December, you knew that he was going to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep Wyatt. And then if he kept Wyatt, then he was going to be responsible for those bills. Was that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am. And me and him had communication towards that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then so you had the agreement that he would keep Wyatt since December, right?
Yes, until I got back on my feet, and that's when I would get Wyatt back.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Scavassa, do you have any questions for Ms. Caris?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Caris, what I heard your testimony on your employment.
Yes.
Do you what insurance do you have available through your employer?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
And are you able to place your child on that insurance?
Yes, me and my child were on that insurance, and Baltazar has his insurance card. Whenever he told me he was taking my son to the doctor for a checkup, I gave him my son's insurance card, and I have yet to receive it back.
Okay, so you have insurance for Wyatt through your employer at
Yes, ma'am.
what does that cost for Wyatt per month?
For both of us, since I'm free, it would be $150 to 200, including the dental, the medical, everything that he would need. I would have to 200, almost $200 comes out of my check for that
And you get paid how often?
every 2 weeks.
So 200 every 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you said that's there's no separate cost for the dental, it's all included.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ms.
Okay.
Cavassa, I got confused. Is she saying that is for her and the child? Or
Yes,
just
we're
for
on
the
a
child?
plan together.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. So, okay. How many other children do you have?
I have Wyatt and then I'm carrying another. So I have two in total.
Okay, you're carrying one that hasn't been born yet,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
Okay. And then, okay, other than that, no other children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Um, Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Miss Caris, I'm gonna give you the opportunity now to testify on your own behalf. And when you are testifying, please clarify for me, do you already have that insurance and you're paying for it now, or is that once you get off probation, it's available?
That was my insurance that I had at Juniper at Guadalupe Riverfront,
Oh,
not
okay,
at
so
my
you don't have
current
that
job.
in. Okay, okay, thanks for clarifying that for me.
Yes,
Now tell me what else you want me to know this morning.
ma'am. That honestly, that I don't see the need for me to be on child support and repaying him back, only because whenever Wyatt was in his possession at November 25th, we agreed on 50-50, taking him off of child support. My son being with him 50% of the time, me being 50% of the time, we pay for what we need whenever we have possession of our child. Um, and we agreed that we were going to take him off of child support and that was going to be it. And we would continue doing the Tuesdays and Thursdays and then the weekends if he didn't have plans with Wyatt. And so right now I physically cannot afford being on child support since I am currently not working. I'm still in the training process. So I have no money coming to me. I'm behind on my car bill because I have no money coming to me right now. I just mentally and physically cannot afford it. With a new child coming into the world, I just can't do it.
Thank you, Ms. Caris. Ms. Gross, do you have any follow-up questions, Ms. Caris?
Only very briefly, Judge. Miss Caris, just regarding the health insurance. So the
Mhm.
150 to 200 every 2 weeks was from Juniper. Is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so that is not for this current position.
No, ma'am.
Do you know if you will be offered insurance for you and you and the two kids after the probation period, or are you offered it right now?
After my 90 days, I will be offered health insurance. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you have any idea right now what that would cost you per month?
No, ma'am. I am currently applying for Medicaid for both children.
Okay. Okay, so after you left Juniper Guadalupe,
Mhm.
was the child ever covered under any type of government health insurance?
For when he was younger, I believe it was from once he was born till about 3 years old. He was covered with Medicaid, and then the Medicaid, I got denied for it because I was applying with also food stamps, so they denied me. So then I got on Blue Cross Blue Shield from my employer when I was working at Juniper.
Okay, and how long were you employed at Juniper?
2.5 years.
Okay, and when did that employment end?
It ended 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so it's very recent.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
Anything further, Ms. Gavasa?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further, Ms. Caris?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Caris, can you help the court? Is there any programs in the CUR for Ms. Caris to attend as a victim of domestic violence that would help with her parenting?
Yes, the Hill Country Crisis Council actually offers a lot of assistance in parenting and does offer one individual counseling as well as some parenting classes that she can take at her own leisure. Yes.
Is that based on a sliding scale fee of ability to pay, or?
Generally, and specifically because she is a victim of domestic violence, she should qualify for those as a complimentary service.
Okay, thank you. And that's
Yes.
Hill Country Crisis Center
Hill Country Crisis Council.
Council. Thank you.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Grace, anything further before, or do you close?
Yes, Your Honor, I close. Thank you.
Ms. Cavassa, do you close?
Yes.
Ms. Caris, close means you don't have any other evidence. Do you close?
The only thing I do have to say is that I'm currently in counseling at the MHDD Center. And I go there every month, the beginning and the end of the month.
For the record, Ms. Caris, what does MHDD stand for?
Mental health drug disorder.
How long have you been going there?
Ever since the domestic violence has been happening, for about 2 months.
Thank you. Court's going to make the following ruling. Court's going to make applicable findings and going to change conservatorship on the child on a temporary basis. I'm going to name the father as the temporary sole managing conservator of the child with all exclusive rights and duties as set out in the Texas Family Code. The mother will be a temporary possessory conservator. I'm not doing a restriction on the father's residence. However, I believe that there are some standard orders in Kerr District that would require him not to change his address pending the lawsuit. As to possession and access, I'm going to find that ordering the standard possession order would endanger the physical and mental well-being of this child. And I'm going to order that visitation will be on, I didn't hear specific time zone on this, but I'm going to do Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays from 12 to 6 p.m. Supervised by a competent adult designated by the father. I'm going to order mother not to transport the child, nor is she to have overnight visits. I say that, Ms. Caris, because the way the order will be written, it'll be that you two can mutually agree upon, but I'm making sure it's put in writing that I don't believe it's in the child's best interest at this time to have overnight visits. There's a lot going on that you are dealing with. As to medical support, I'm going to order that the father have the right to apply for medical coverage through government source. I'm going to set cash medical at $40 per month. Based on the testimony of Ms. Caris, if I ordered child support, guidelines child support with one child before the court, no others, would set child support at $274. However, I'm going to deviate from that, and I'm going to order child support at $160 per month. I'm deviating from that due to Ms. Caris's current employment, and that she has insufficient resources. All support is to begin August the 1st, 2025. I didn't put in the order, say it earlier, but I understand, Ms. Caris, you are separated from Josh Delos Santos, that he's not to have any access to this child. And I understand there's that current restraining order. I don't know how long that's going to last.
August 11th.
Additionally, thank you. So just around the corner. Additionally, I'm going to order that Ms. Caris within 2 weeks contact the Hill Country Crisis Center. And Hill Country Crisis Council and apply for services within 2 weeks of today's date. And participate in recommended services. And to provide not counseling notice, completion of any courses that you take to Ms. Gross's office. They should, once you participate in their programs, without providing any details of any notes, they should provide certificates that you can provide to Ms. Gross upon completion. Now, let's see. I'm going to order non-disclosure of mother's information in this due to a third party. I think actually I'm going to order it for both mother and father. While Mr. San Miguel did not allege any concerns over Mr. De Los Santos' behavior toward him, there is toward the child. So non-disclosure due to third party of both parents' information. I'm not ordering court costs on a temporary order. It can be addressed at the final. The only issue left is that this court case is set now. We did temporary orders today. We need to decide if this case is going to be set for a final here in front of me, or if you want to refer back to district court. Ms. Grace, at one point there's some pleadings filed. It'll stay with me unless you request it to go to district court, Ms. Grace.
There's no request at this time, Judge. But I would like to see if I am able to get Miss Caris's email address offline, because I do know that this is being recorded, so that I can communicate with her to see if we can reach an amicable resolution.
Okay. Ms. Cavassa, do you need anything else from me before I adjourn this hearing?
No,
No,
Your Honor.
ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Cross. We are adjourning this meeting. I'm going to stop the recording. And if you'll give me 1 second to stop.